Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy, Alyx Man, and welcome to another WWE NXT review and a preview of NXT Takeover Chicago 2. Chicago 2. We're going to talk about both shows. I'm not going to do my predictions in this one, just a broad scope of how I feel about NXT TakeOver Chicago now that we have a full card. I'm going to save my predictions until the week of. This is just a preview. Just giving you general thoughts on the show as it stands. We still got 3 weeks of build until the actual show. We're 3 weeks away until NXT TakeOver Chicago, which is on June 16th, Saturday, the day before Money in the Bank. So there's a lot to discuss. I will give you a full breakdown on the card, as well as a full breakdown of tonight's show, and just give you my overall thoughts on how things are in terms of NXT. Before we get to any of that, you know what to do. You can like the video, you can subscribe if you like what I have to say. Now, there's also a couple of other things you can do. If you really want to help expand the brand of your boy, Alyx Man, you can do one or two things. You can like me on Facebook and catch wrestling news, as well as be a part of a future Q&A. You can follow me on Twitter. You can be a part of me tweeting during live shows or during whatever wrestling show is on. You can donate through Super Chat. You can donate through Patreon or PayPal. But most importantly, you can buy yourself a Alyx Man t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees. And a big shout out to Jay Knox for giving me these covers. These are some awesome displays, overlays for my videos, and I thank him for that. One last thing, from now on, when you donate, when you subscribe, my Streamlabs connection will let me know. So every time I have a donation, Streamlabs will display it on the screen. So I will no longer be missing any more super chats. As a matter of fact, I have one of those proactive voiceovers to speak, to actually, promote and display your super chat on the screen, because I'm kind of sick of missing super chats, and I'm so sorry that I tend to do that a lot because I get into my previews and my reviews. That's not going to happen anymore. So if you do a super chat, it will display on the screen, and then I'll have bootlegged Siri read it out for me. So let's see how that works. Thank you guys for watching. Speaking of super chats, speaking of live chats, who's here in the live chat today? Who I got here? We got, Jordan Lott. We got Ultra Shadow. We got Godzilla Hawk, AJ, and V, Jake, and we just got a subscription. Okay, check that out. That's pretty cool. Thank you for subscribing, sir. We got Zachary Hain. We got Joseph Winters. We got Julius. We got, make sure I catch everybody. Oh, here they come. Here they come. We got Darius Gaston, Sam Katz, Justin Long, Notorious MMA 16, Joseph Winters. We got Donnie Thomas, Permanent Press. I'm going to get this one wrong, but I'm going for it anyways. Matthias. I think I got your name right. Mad Money Mo. Gino. Isaiah Webb. Raheem Isaac. These are some familiar names. Thank you for joining me here, guys. I really do appreciate it. I think that's everybody. Really? I think I went through them that quick. Again, this is, at the beginning of the show. Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So, as I said, I'm going to get into NXT first before I talk about NXT TakeOver Chicago. So, sit back, relax. Let's go ahead and break this down. Let's review the show, and then we'll get into NXT TakeOver Chicago. So, let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this. We kick off NXT tonight with a video package of Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's feud. They show what happened last week with Gargano falling on top of Candice LeRae, and they show a tweet of Candice basically saying she's okay, but she can't stand to see what her husband has turned into. Or can't stand to see him turn into everything he despises. So as time goes by, Gargano is starting to become Ciampa. Which, hey, if that's where you want to go with this feud, let's go there. Let's do that. I actually like where we're going with this. And it is announced that they will have a Chicago street fight at NXT Takeover Chicago. I'll get into how I feel about that for the preview. I'm going to save all of that for the preview because there's a lot I want to say about this match. Some good, some we'll get there. We open up with Aleister Black, the NXT champion, coming out. And he's let the audience know that he will be a champion they will be proud of. He is interrupted by Lars Sullivan, who has come out to challenge the champion. Actually, no, he didn't come out to challenge him. He has come out to let him know he will be challenging him for the championship at NXT Takeover Chicago 2. So there you go. There's your NXT Championship match. And then Sullivan makes the statement that he will not be an easy opponent. As a matter of fact, he will not even hit his black mass on him. Because remember, Lars Sullivan isn't just a big monster. He isn't just your average big man, I'm strong, I'm muscular. Cut from the same cloth as Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Braun Strowman, you know. He's intelligent. He has a high IQ. And he lets him know that I'm going to be seeing that black mass come from a mile away. You're not going to hit that on me. As he says that, Aleister Black goes to hit the black mass, that spinning wheel kick, and Lars Sullivan catches it. Like he stops it with his hand and then hits the freak accident. Pins him. He didn't even pin him. But he knocks him out. Excuse me. After he knocks him out, he raises the championship. Sends a statement to Aleister Black that I am not going to be the kind of opponent you are expecting. Yikes. Yikes. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's your NXT Championship match. Again, we'll get into full detail about that when I get to the preview. Moving on. The segment was good, though. That was a nice, well-worked segment for what it was. The War Raiders came out, and they took on a local tag team and beat them. Okay. Right now, the War Raiders are just kind of getting used to the landscape of NXT, but they're getting over pretty well. I do like the whole war. I'm liking what they're doing with them. We do another video package, but this time hyping the main event, which is Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai. I gotta say, I'm very shocked that we're doing this here and not at NXT TakeOver Chicago, because that's where I thought this was heading. No, we're not doing this here at Chicago. We're doing it tonight, which, okay, you know, look, the story as it is, this whole idea that Dakota Kai has PTSD, basically, is completely terrified of Shayna Baszler. Baszler is in her head. The poor girl doesn't want to do anything when it comes to Shayna. She is beyond terrified. She is scared to death of this woman. As she should be. After the beating she took, I'd be scared of her too. I'd be running away from Shayna if you think about it. So the story going into the match is Dakota Kai mentally prepared to fight Shayna Baszler? And I think there was enough there. There was enough story there to get this match to NXT TakeOver Chicago. Now, what we got tonight would have actually been the match we got at the pay-per-view, kind of, somewhat, maybe change it up a little bit here and there, but it is what it is. I'm perfectly okay with what they did tonight because I have an idea of where it's going in the future. But the hype video was well done. And the way they built into the match for the main event and everything that they basically wrote for the story. Again, it could have been a match at NXT TakeOver Chicago, but it's not happening at the show. It's happening tonight. We got a Lacey Evans interview, and in that interview, it is announced that she will take on Kairi Sane next week, one-on-one. One-on-one, ladies and gentlemen, for the rubber match. And it would just be it's going to be a regular match, and I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of feel like if they're going to do this, there should be a stipulation. Maybe there will be. I don't know. We'll see. But we're getting Lacey Evans and Kairi Sane next week. And she plans to defend her Women's right. Get it? Anyways, EC3 had his third match, the trilogy, against Fabian Aichner. And the match itself, I'll be real with you. Personally, when it comes to EC3, I've always felt him as a personality outshined his matches. Not saying his matches are bad. His matches are pretty solid. Decent to solid. But him as a personality has stood out more than his matches. He took on Fabian Aichner, who I still think is a very underrated talent on NXT. Loved his work on the Cruiserweight Classic. Love his work here in this match with EC3. Matter of fact, if they ever decide to do a mini feud with these two, I'd be okay with that. Absolutely. But that's not the story of the match. The story of the match is in the middle of the match, Johnny Gargano, came out with a contract signed and made it official that he will be fighting Tommaso Ciampa at NXT Takeover Chicago in a Chicago street fight. Again, gonna say it for the preview. I just think it's kind of interesting that originally this was supposed to be Last Man Standing. But because Nakamura and AJ Styles are doing the match, they changed it to this. Makes me wonder how the build would have been if they would have kept it Last Man Standing. What's even more interesting is EC3's reaction to Johnny Gargano interrupting his match. Not interfering, but interrupting the match. He kind of looked at him like, really? Really? Kind of plants the seed for something to happen in the future. Whether it's a future feud or maybe an interference from EC3. But EC3 does beat Fabian Aichner. So there you go with that. And then we got the Who Is Bianca Belair vignette. So usually these vignettes are made to build sympathy for the wrestlers. To help them get over more as a babyface or in a certain light. How about that? And that was kind of what I was expecting for Bianca Belair. All right, we're going to look at her background. They're going to tell this story of her being bullied or having a hard time growing up, not having a childhood, and she got into wrestling because she was one of the weird kids and blah, 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 blah. I thought we were going to go in that direction. No, we didn't. Nothing like that at all, whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it was the complete opposite. Bianca Belair got this, basically this look back on her life where she was a prodigy. She was the top kid in her class. She was good at everything she did. She did track, she did basketball, she did all kinds of sports, volleyball, and she was the number one player. And then she talks about how she didn't even put her best foot forward. She was number one by basically doing the bare minimum. By doing the bare minimum, she was number one. So she didn't even try. But then she realized her legacy. Her great-grandfather being the first black technician. Her grandfather being some kind of a high society man. He had a PhD in college and stuff like that. It's basically a family legacy that she is basically putting on herself to live up to. She is forcing herself to live up to a high standard. And it really makes you question, okay, if you can do all this stuff by doing the bare minimum, how good are you? And that's the kind of question you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself when you look at Bianca Belair, you're strong, you're fast, you can do high-flying moves. How good are you? But all it did in terms of showing us who Bianca Belair is, it just showed us that she's very cocky. She's unapologetically talented. She brims with confidence. She has all the physical attributes and gifts to back it up, of course. She's driven by a family legacy to maintain a high level of life. And nothing will stop her. So, what did this do? It really just established her as a heel. That's kind of interesting, because usually these who is blah, who is underscore, put wrestler here, vignettes are used to make us care about them. When it comes to Bianca Belair, I don't think my opinion has changed to her at all. It just reinforced what I thought about her. She's cocky, she's arrogant, she thinks she's the best, and this vignette just proved it. Now, that does make me question a couple of things. I don't really know if I'm supposed to get behind her or boo her. I have an idea that she's supposed to be a heel. I'm guessing she's supposed to be a heel, but I don't really hate her. Yeah, she's confident. Yeah, she's cocky, but she has a reason to be. She's really good. So why should I boo her necessarily? You get what I'm saying? You see where I'm coming from? It's kind of weird when you look at what Bianca Belair is supposed to be at NXT, and then you try to associate that with a heel or babyface, and you go, you can really be either one. Perhaps this is an instance where she's neither. She's a tweener. She's Bianca Belair. You know what? I personally think, and because this is NXT, I'm confident they could do this. I think she should be a tweener. Don't put her on either side. She is her own being. She fights both babyfaces and heels. She's a threat to everybody. She's Bianca Belair. She's nobody's hero. She's nobody's villain. She's her own unique persona. She's her own unique entity. That's how it should be. That's what I want, honestly, for Bianca Belair. She's that much of a badass to where she doesn't need to be a babyface or a heel. She's just being herself. You know what? There you go. That's the direction we should go in. Live chat, talk to me. How do you feel about Bianca Belair? Because I don't know. I just kind of feel like, for me, she just fits as a tweener. I just think that's what it should be. Live chat seems to be talking about Gargano and Ciampa right now, which, again, I'll get to in a second. But I'm just very curious to see what people say about Bianca Belair. Ultra Shadow says Belair is in store for big things. Oh, absolutely. I think because of what NXT is, opportunities are going to come regardless. We'll see. We'll see what people say. Raheem Isaac says he loves her. Notorious MMA says she is the better version of Sasha Banks. Yikes. Ooh. Joseph Winter says he loves Bianca Belair. Alright. Well, for the most part, a lot of positive feedback for Bianca. So let's see what happens going forward. Okay. Moving on. We got Ricochet taking on the debuting Donovan Dijak, who is now being known as Chris Dijak. Another very famous, very well-known indie performer coming up to WWE. Those of you who don't know who Donovan Dijak is, I gave him a spot in my top 10 matches of the year for 2017 when he took on Keith Lee. I forgot the name of the PWG show, but it was in PWG. But here, he's in NXT, and the match was short, but the stuff he did in the match really caught everyone's attention. Dijak really impressed that NXT audience. He showed crazy athleticism for a big man, and I think he's gonna be a hit. That's someone you can just look at and go, yeah, he's about to do some things. He's about to do some crazy things here in NXT. So I want to see what he can do. It was a fun match for what it was. Of course, it was a highlight match for Ricochet. And he ends up beating Donovan Dijak, or Chris Dijak. Afterwards, Ricochet calls out Velveteen Dream and says he's a punk for turning on him last week. Dream answers him and challenges him to a match at NXT Takeover Chicago, claiming anything he can do, the Dream can do better. That's when Ricochet runs to the ropes, because Velveteen Dream is on the outside. He doesn't enter the ring. I mean, he's challenged to come to the ring, but he stays on the outside. But Ricochet runs to the ropes, does a 360 out of the ring, and lands right next to Velveteen Dream. It was amazing. I thought that was so badass. Again, I will go into full detail about everything when my preview happens. But this segment was awesome. I think this was my favorite segment of the entire night. Although the main event was really good, this was my favorite segment. This is the kind of stuff I look forward to in terms of being a fan of NXT. You can just look at this segment and go, oh, we're in for a hell of a match at NXT Takeover Chicago. Alright, here we go. Main event. Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, taking on Dakota Kai. Now, the story going in, as you know, is that Dakota Kai is scared of Shayna Baszler. So the question on everyone's mind is she mentally prepared to fight Shayna Baszler? We all found out she was not. This was practically a squash match. Shayna got all kinds of offense on Dakota. And Dakota Kai, there was a small portion of the match where she got some offense on Shayna Baszler. But for the majority of the match, she got her butt kicked. So, yeah, she wasn't mentally prepared to fight Shayna Baszler. She's still running. She's still suffering from PTSD. And honestly, this might have made it worse. Despite the small offense at the end of the match, Dakota Kai taps out or passes out to the rear naked choke. And then afterwards, after Shayna Baszler wins, she puts it back on her. She continues to choke her with her, forgot what it was called, but her rear naked choke, until Nikki Cross makes the save. Here comes Nikki Cross, and she snatches the NXT Championship away from Shayna Baszler. Just snatches it away from her. And then she looks at Dakota Kai and goes, "You, referee, me, Shayna, tonight." She basically wants to fight Shayna for the championship with Dakota Kai as the referee. Dakota gets the belt and then raises it like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Shayna's like, really? We're not doing this. Nikki Cross hits Shayna with the neck breaker, her swinging neck breaker, and then goes to pin her. Dakota counts to 3, 1, 2, 3, and Nikki Cross believes she beat Shayna Baszler. And Shayna's like, you didn't beat me. Nobody believes it, but Nikki Cross believes it. So, I think it's safe to say this will be our Women's Championship match at NXT TakeOver Chicago. I'll just say this. I feel like this... Even though I know eventually we're going to get back to Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler, which is probably going to be the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Women's Championship match, which... awesome, by the way. I still feel like this should have been the match we got at NXT TakeOver Chicago, as in Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler. First off, Shayna Baszler is a freaking awesome heel. I don't care what anybody says. This might be the top heel for women. Well, I was going to say just in WWE. It might be the top heel, period, in women's wrestling. But let's just play it safe and go with WWE for now. But yeah, easily the top women's female wrestling heel in WWE. Because she's doing awesome work. Everything she does, the way she carries herself, the way she works the matches, the way she naturally gets heat. And Dakota Kai is such a natural babyface. She is such... I called her basically... Our replacement for Bayley months ago. More than ever is she a replacement for Bayley. I think she might have already surpassed Bayley in terms of what Bayley is right now today on WWE. Now, what Bayley was on NXT, no, she's not there yet, but she's getting there. Dakota is getting there, and if we're doing Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, then that basically should be that to me could put them on the level of what Bayley is right now. Hell, we still regard Sasha Banks versus Bayley as the best women's match in WWE history, or one of the best ones. Maybe Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai with this kind of build, with this kind of story, this could be up there too. This could be up there. But we're not getting that. We're getting Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Which, again, we'll get into with my preview. makes sense for what they want to do with Nikki Cross. So there you go. I liked tonight's episode. I thought it was a solid episode of NXT. It did its job to get me excited for NXT Takeover Chicago. Really loved the stuff they did with Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. Really loved that. Really excited about Gargano and Ciampa too. Really excited about Black and Sullivan. Tag Team Championships was already announced last week, but excited about that too. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about the preview. Let's preview NXT TakeOver Chicago. Again, premieres June 16th, Saturday, the night before Money in the Bank. And once again, Chris Jericho has given NXT the official song, which is called, if I'm not mistaken, it's called, wow, I just blanked on it. It's from the Judas album. It's not Lifeless. Painless, thank you. Painless. It's Painless. Yeah, Painless. Uh-oh, super chat.
Dakota reminds me of Hinata Hyuga from Naruto.
She does. Again, I haven't really seen a lot of Naruto's anime, so quite frankly, it's the reference kind of scares me a little bit. It just kind of went over my head. But if that's the reference you want to go with, let's go with that. I am cool with it. A lot of people, a lot of people are just like, oh my god, yeah. I'm telling y'all, we upgraded. We upgraded, ladies and gentlemen, with a new way to get super chats. So, by the way, just to put this out there, the more you donate, each level gets you a different song. I just want to put that out there. So he gave me who was this, by the way? It was a $2 super chat from Eric Gonzalez. Thank you, Mr. Eric Gonzalez, for that. If you do $5, there's a different song. If you do $10, there's a different song. 15 different song. 20 different song. 25 different song. And it goes all the way up to $50. So there's a different song and different reaction and a different, display for each new song and each new level of donation. But Chris Jericho, Painless. That is the official theme song for NXT TakeOver Chicago, which, cool with me. Now, let's get to it. Those of you who are asking what the song is, alright, I'll just tell you. If anybody here is a fan of Persona 4, Persona 4 is an anime game, and it's called Pursuing. Excuse me. I forgot what it was called. Alex, man, what's wrong with you? Okay, let me look it up. It is Pursuing. It's not Pursuing Happiness. Another one?
What tune was that?
Okay, someone gave me asked me what tune was that. That was Pursuing My Heart from Persona 4. No, excuse me. Pursuing My True Self. It's called Pursuing My True Self from Persona 4. So, if you never played Persona, check it out. Check it out. Who donated that, by the way? The Red Xavier, $2. What tune was that? Well, thank you, everybody, for your super chats. I appreciate that. So, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about NXT TakeOver Chicago. So, I want to start off with the match I am looking forward to the most. And some of you just went Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa 2. You would be wrong. Yeah. Not saying I'm not looking forward to Gargano and Ciampa 2. But in terms of what match has me most excited, it's gotta be Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet. You have no idea how excited this gets me. Like, just talking about it gives me goosebumps. I'm feeling it right now. There is something about this match that just... Okay, how do I put this? You know when you see two wrestlers inside the ring, you just know this is going to be awesome. Rock and Austin. You see those two and you go, oh, that match is going to be awesome. Hogan and Rock. Oh, that match is going to be awesome. Hell, Hogan and Warrior. Oh, that match is going to be awesome. Cena and Punk. Oh, that match is going to be awesome. Punk and Bryan. Oh, that match is going to be awesome. Bryan and Joe. Oh, that match is going to be awesome. You just look at them and you go, yeah, this is going to be an awesome match. I had that exact same feeling with Dream and Ricochet. You just know this. Matter of fact, I am so confident that this is going to be an awesome match. This is actually my early prediction for match of the night. Yeah. I literally just said this will probably be better than Gargano and Ciampa, which is crazy. Because you already know Ciampa and Gargano are going to have probably another 5-star classic. So what I'm saying is these two might actually have a classic too. We'll see. We'll see. What gets me most excited about this is it's a first time match. We've never seen these two wrestle before. Ever. Fresh match. 1. 2. The story for this match is anything Ricochet can do, Dream can do better. Do you understand who the hell Ricochet is? Ricochet, let me put it to you this way. Ricochet at one point was considered the greatest high flyer in the world. Velveteen Dream just told Ricochet, everything you can do, I can do better. My mind just went to so many crazy spots that they can do. And if you saw the little small snippet of action they gave us 2 weeks ago, that's all I needed to see. First off, that little taste we got 2 weeks ago, that was enough to sell me. This is going to be an amazing match. This is not me doing an AJ Styles versus Nakamura. Oh, they had a great match in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They should have a match at WrestleMania. That's going to be a classic. No, I'm not doing that now. I am confident that these two are going to have a spectacular match. There's the characters. There's the performers. From a personal standpoint, it's two African American men just really tearing it up. And you know how we get down. But there's something about this match that just screams. It just screams future classic. It just screams it. Will it live up to that? I have no idea. In terms of who will win, I'm not going to speak on that. Personally, this is one of those matches. These are the kind of matches where it really doesn't matter who wins. I'm serious. Like, you can sit here and tell me Ricochet needs it. He just got here. Dream needs it. He's going to be a future NXT champion. And I'll look at you and go, this is the kind of match where if they just have an amazing match, period, it puts both of them over. You get me? I believe these two can have such an amazing match. Both of them could look good as a result. So, I'm not trying to put pressure on them. I don't want to put that high of an expectation on them. But you know what? Screw it. I am. Because I think they want that. They need that. It pushes them to be better. So you know what? That is my expectation. I want Gargano and Ciampa to look at this match and go, okay. That's what we have to top. Let's go. Seriously. I want Gargano and Ciampa to feel threatened by Dream and Ricochet. And they should feel threatened. They better feel threatened. And you know what I love about this the most? Is that the storytelling is so simple. It's so easy. Ricochet wants to be NXT champion. Dream feels like he's trying to steal his spotlight, cut his way in front of the line, because Dream feels like he should be NXT champion. That's why they're butting heads. They tried to get along, tried to take out Lars Sullivan. Dream turned on him, and here we go. We've established the roles. Dream is the heel. Ricochet is the babyface. We have two strong personalities, two great performers. What else can you ask for? This is gonna be amazing. This is one of the most anticipated matches for this upcoming takeover. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. And no, I do not care who wins. But you will get my predictions on who wins in a couple of weeks. Alright, so let's see here. NXT Tag Team Championships. We got the Undisputed Era, a.k.a. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, taking on Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Now, this should be a solid match. This should be fun. Am I the only one that hopes Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan win? You know, I don't think... Again, let me just say this. I don't think Undisputed Era is losing those belts anytime soon. Spoiler alert. Now, I could change my mind when it comes to my preview and predictions later in June. But as of right now, why take those belts off of anybody in Undisputed Era? Why? Although, this would be a very nice moment for Lorcan and Danny Burch. If you look at the match, look at the match for who's in it. You got 4 extremely stiff mofos. Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. They are going to beat the living hell out of each other. I'm very excited about this tag match. I think since Revival moved up, we've been really lacking in the tag team department. We've been lacking. You know, we haven't really had a classic for the tag teams since DIY versus Revival. The closest we got was that ladder match with DIY and the Authors of Pain, which, hey, ironically happened a year ago. I just kind of feel like we're due for an amazing match for the tag teams. I think this could be it. I'm not saying it's going to be a classic, but there's something about the 4 men we have here that just screams this is going to be one hell of a stiff match. So, I'm excited about that aspect of it. And then you look at the Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross. Clearly, this is just a roadblock from the real women's match, which is Shayna Baszler and Dakota Kai at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I think Nikki Cross is being given this spot for one reason only. Because she's being moved up. I think Sanity is being held back from debuting on the main roster because they want to bring up everybody. So eventually Nikki Cross has to go up, which kind of spoils this match as well. However, I'm expecting a pretty good match from Shayna and Nikki. I know a lot of people aren't really okay. The kind of worker Shayna is, I wouldn't expect her to really do much with a person like Nikki Cross, because it's basically the same kind of style, the chaotic, crazy, wacky, unpredictable style taking on the textbook, well-groomed student of the game technician. You know, that mixture of styles doesn't sound good on paper. But there's something about what they're doing with them that I think could make this work. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to give it a shot to see how it works. So let's see what they do with these two. We got the NXT Championship, which I said was the WWE Championship for some reason. Makes me think I want Aleister Black to be champion. Aleister Black taking on Lars Sullivan. Neither man has lost a singles match yet. So you can use that as like the actual building block for this match. One of these men will suffer their first singles loss. Who will it be? Lars Sullivan or Aleister Black? I have no idea. This will probably be a sleeper hit. This one, not a lot of people are expecting this to be good because it's Lars Sullivan. And granted, he is green. This will probably surpass your expectations. I think everyone is sleeping on this match really soon because it's Lars Sullivan. I wouldn't sleep on this match. This one could really this one could really surprise you. Now, main event, which I'm pretty sure is undisputed at this point. The main event is going to be a Chicago street fight between Gargano and Ciampa. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that surpasses this feud. The complaints about this match is that it's basically the same match from, well, maybe not the same match from NXT Takeover New Orleans. I'm not going to argue against that. I kind of feel like it should have been Last Man Standing or like a Hell in a Cell or something, because it's the same stipulation technically. It might not be named, it might not have the same name, but it's still a street fight. And you can win by submission or pinfall. We'll see. Without making a prediction, I will say this. I am very worried about this match. Let me tell you why. Besides it being similar in terms of what we got at NXT TakeOver in New Orleans, their New Orleans match had so much expectation. Remember, that match had 9 months of build, almost a full year of hype. Fans were willing to walk across fire, coal, brimstone, barefooted to see that match. And they got the match. No matter what they did, it was going to be a classic. It was going to be a classic match. That match had way too much hype. But now that the feud has continued, and we've gotten to see them touch a little bit, the expectation is raised a little bit higher now. So they can't just have the same kind of match they had last TakeOver. Now, the fans are going to look for something different. And in my mind, I'm kind of telling myself, okay, how do you surpass what they did without breaking restrictions? To me, Ciampa versus Gargano 2, for this match to really reach new levels, you have to have blood. And this is the conversation I knew I was going to get to, but I didn't know how to really present it, so I'm just going to say it this way. I'm scared that if this match doesn't have blood, it will not live up to what the previous match was. These two are at a point now where you gotta do something crazy. You gotta. They need to do something so groundbreaking that really I don't know. This is what happens when you get to a point where fans are invested in a feud. The hard part is keeping their investment. Getting their investment, okay, you got it. How do you maintain it? What's going to hurt this match is the fact that it's being held in WWE. If this match was held in ROH, if this match was held in PWG or wherever, I would be, oh my goodness, you have no idea how excited I'd be. Because there is no restrictions in other companies. You know, the stuff they did with Candice last week where Ciampa pushed Gargano on top of Candice and she got knocked out. Like that kind of stuff, it's basically pillow fights compared to what they would have done with Gargano, Ciampa, and Candice and ROH. Man, I would have seen Ciampa beat the living hell out of Candice in ROH. I mean, finishers galore. Powerbombing. And you know what? I am at that point now where WWE wants to come up here and talk about women's rights, and it's a it's all about the women, women's revolution, and stuff like that. You know what? We're at that point now where women can get an ass whooping too. I'm sorry. If we're gonna play up, this is all about the women. Personally, if Triple H can rough up Ronda Rousey, Ciampa can rough up Candice. What I would love to see in these next 3 weeks, I want to see Ciampa attack Candice. Like, straight up powerbomb her on his knees. Candice can take it. Candice took a freaking super kick to the face with thumbtacks on the bottom of it. Candice is known for wrestling men. She ain't no pushover. If you really want to add some heat to this feud, we got to have Ciampa attack Candice. We got to. We got to. We got to go there. Eventually, we got to go there. But also, I gotta reiterate this. You want these fans to be invested in your matches. You want these fans to care about these feuds. And you want to stack the deck. Well, Triple H, buddy, you're here now. So what are you going to do? Do you want to fall with your expectations, or do you want to surpass them? There's only one way to do it. There's only one way to surpass this. You need blood. Now, what I don't understand is WWE's logic with how blood works. If you hard way somebody, that's okay. Think about this. So, if you're new to the business, how it used to work was certain wrestlers would blade. They would get like one of these little razors and they would blade to sell a blood spot. Right? Why is that more dangerous than someone hard weighing you? I would think using a razor is more safer than hard weight. Sometimes you just use fake blood. I've seen Vince McMahon get hit in the head and then use a patch of blood to sell it. I don't understand at all what's the big deal with having some blood, especially if it's called for. This feud calls for blood. I know I'm speaking to a goddamn white wall right now, but I don't know what else to say. WWE, you're about to make $2.5 billion. Let me reiterate this. WWE, you are now at a time where your stock is as high as it's ever been. $60 a share. $60 freaking dollars a share. WWE. I'm telling you. Alright? You're at a good time right now to really just test the waters. And you know what? This is why I say all the time. Okay, so there's a fine. I think Gargano and Ciampa should pay that fine. Like, okay, we will fine you this amount. Okay. You know what? Better yet, Triple H, you pay it. No, okay, that's not fair. But no, for real. Like, someone needs to step up for this. Like, I'm at that point now where I'm tired of the restrictions. I'm tired of people telling these wrestlers they can't do certain things because it's for their safety, but you want them to entertain the audience to a certain level, right? Nah, like, I'm worried about this match that it's not going to live up to the match they had in NXT Takeover New Orleans because of restrictions. If you want this match to be successful, they got to have blood. And I'm scared that if it doesn't have blood, it will just feel... Even if it's an awesome match, it's not going to compare to what their NXT Takeover New Orleans match was. And again, that's not me saying Gargano and Ciampa can't live up to their previous match. On the contrary, I know they can. I know these two can go out there and have a hell of a match. I know they can. It's just, to me, it's just, to me, with the restrictions, it's just going to make it harder for them. And why would you do that? For real. Why would you make it harder on the wrestlers to have a 5-star classic? Now, if Gargano and Ciampa can do it without blood, all power to you. I'm just saying, I'm scared that the expectation is going to be hard to surpass or live up to with a similar stipulation to the unsanctioned match. But at the same time, this is Chicago. So we'll see. We will see what they can do. And yes, someone just said, technically, it's Gargano and Ciampa 3 because they had their first match at CWC, Cruiserweight Classic. So, who knows, man? Let's see what they can do. But yeah, just give me your thoughts on this. My biggest concern for NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 is not that if it can be just as good as NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I'm not expecting that. If it is, awesome. What I want for NXT TakeOver Chicago is for people to go in and come out feeling just as satisfied about this show as they were for NXT TakeOver New Orleans. So, we're going to have an insane crowd. You know that crowd's going to be insane. The crowd's going to be insane. The matches are going to be awesome. We're going to have Mauro Ranallo doing his thing. Mamma Mia! Nigel McGuinness, Percy Watson. We're going to have an awesome commentary team with some awesome action. We're going to have an awesome crowd. It's going to be an awesome show. We're going to have such an awesome time. We're going to be enjoying it. It's going to be great. Oh, yeah. Now, I don't even know why I did that. But, again, the expectations that NXT TakeOver New Orleans set, I'm scared might hinder the show. Because I said NXT TakeOver New Orleans was one of the best shows I've ever seen. So I'm scared because it didn't live up to that. You know, how would people feel about that? But give me your thoughts. Like, live chat, talk to me. Talk to me real quick. How you feel about this? I want to know. I want to know what you had to say about this show. Preview. So, yeah. Give me your thoughts about this, guys. What do you got to say? Julius. I will always love Mauro's Mamma Mia! I love Mamma Mia, too. Mamma Mia! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh yeah! Percy Watson. Or, oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. Alright. Notorious MMA 16. They have to go all out. Yeah, they got to, man. They got to. Permanent press. CM Punk will make his surprise return at NXT TakeOver Chicago, and he will not be at All In. Good luck. Good luck with that one. Will I be watching CM Punk's fight? When does his fight premiere? Is he fighting this weekend? When is CM Punk fighting? Because if it's this weekend, it can't be this weekend. Is it the 8th? I'm trying to think. When does CM Punk fight? Because if it's Saturday, yeah, I'll be up here to live react to it. I'll do a live reaction to it if it's happening. You know what? Let me just look into it. When does CM Punk fight? June 9th. Okay, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Gotcha. Alright. Let's see here. Braun Strowman, it needs more than just blood. We need sledgehammers, head chair shots, and tables. That's asking for a little much, but it kind of does, really. Eric Gonzalez. The Gargano and Ciampa feud reminds me of Goku versus Vegeta in the early days of Dragon Ball. It reminds me of Majin Vegeta versus Goku. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take your word for it. Let's see here. Tope Suicida! Isaiah Webb. Mad Money Mo. They can start the street fight outside in the parking lot. Oh. And we're talking about how it's booked. That's perhaps the best way to go. They can't just start. Personally, if you really want to make it unique, if you really want to go all out, I say they start the show with Gargano and Ciampa, and then they fight throughout the entire night. Hey, it's never been done before. Just kind of make it one of those ongoing matches that just go on and on and on and on, and then to the end of the show, they get a pinfall. Who knows? Maybe they can do that. Notorious MMA. CM Punk will not go back to WWE after 2014, and now with this ongoing lawsuit, I doubt he burned his bridges with WWE. Yeah. The lawsuit deal is kind of ridiculous anyway, so yeah, whatever. TLB The Fly Guy. Punk's lawsuit just started, not happening. Watch CM Punk win that, by the way. Just host up with Dr. Amons and WWE. That's not going to go anywhere. Let's see here. Matthias. Did I say your name right? Is it Matthias or Matthias? I think Matthias sounds better than Matthias. Grand Metalik. El Rey de las Cuetes. El Rey de las Cuetes. English. No, I'm just joking. Matthew J. Hendricks. Ciampa will challenge Black for the title. Then after that, you can do 3 Stages of Hell with Gargano and Ciampa for the title. So when Black is challenging Ciampa, who is Gargano fighting? EC3? Perhaps? Let's see here. Matt Money Mo. Wait. Is that the same comment? That is the same comment. Let's see here. I don't know. This is one of those things here. Matt J. Hendricks. It's gonna be Sam versus Baszler in Brooklyn. Nah. It should be Dakota Kai and Shayna. That's the story. I like Kyrie, but does she really need a championship match right now? I'd rather we do Dakota Kai and Kyrie. That's just my thoughts on that. Matthias. Oh, it's not even close. So it's not Matthias or Matthias. It's Matthias. Yes. Matthias. Close enough. So do an injury angle with Gargano. Gargano versus Dream. Punk's UFC career will be on the line in his next fight. Yeah, if Punk loses his next fight, that might be it. I don't know, guys. It's very interesting with what they're doing in NXT here, but I'm gonna cut it off. So that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. I will be up here probably in the next few days to do my top 10 hidden gems for WWE, hidden classics. But other than that, I will personally see to it that you guys get the best content here on the X-Man's channel. So once again, like the video, subscribe. If you watched it all, hashtag watched it all. Give me your thoughts about NXT Takeover Chicago 2 down below. Subscribe, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Check out everything down below in the description box, was PayPal, Patreon, and Super Chats. But this is your boy, the X-Man, signing off. Oh, right here. And your boy, the X-Man's World. I'm out. Peace.